Did you know Variety, the children's charity, is the entertainment charity started by a group of show business people who found an abandoned baby in a theatre way back in 1928. These kind-hearted performers raised so much money to help the lost child that they began helping other children, and Variety, the children's charity, was born. Read the full story and support the entertainers charity that supports kids in need today. Visit variety.org.au. You're listening to the School of Hard Knock Knocks podcast with me, Maury Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian.
Shouldn't drink on an empty head, you know that, don't you?
That is the shittiest heckle I have ever heard in my life.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
What's a bucket list?
You have dangerously underprepared yourself for the shit that is about to get real.
Sometimes the best way to try something new is to jump into the metaphorical deep end. That was the case for Sonia Di Iorio, who decided her entry into stand-up comedy should be at Raw Comedy in 2009. Unfortunately, she forgot the jokes. 8 years on, Sonia has performed solo shows at the Melbourne Fringe Festival, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and has appeared in a number of TV comedy shows. In this School of Hard Knock Knocks podcast episode, we discuss introverts, being single, and bad habits of comedy. We also discuss Sonia's upcoming gigs at this year's Melbourne Fringe and her musical show that she hopes to launch at Perth Fringe and Melbourne International Comedy Festival 2018. Fully dressed, I should add. So here she is, Sonia Di Iorio. Good morning, Sonia.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for taking my call on this Monday.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Now, are you in Melbourne today?
Yes, I am.
Right. And are you from Brunswick? When I did my research on you, seemed to be the girl from Brunswick, but
I am. I live in Brunswick. Yep, originally from country Victoria, but have been here for over 10 years.
Country Victoria, which part?
Gippsland.
Gippsland. Okay, very good. It seems like people from the country or regional Victoria or regional New South Wales as well seem to do pretty well in comedy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be the first.
No, there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us from the country in comedy. I don't know why.
That leads me to my first question, because I don't know what the people per square metre is in Traralgon or the neighbouring countryside, but you are a bit of an introvert, I heard, and you came to the big smoke.
Yeah, well, I think I've changed a lot now, but growing up I really was, and I was painfully shy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably even into my late teens, but as a child, very quiet, was the quiet one. Yeah, not saying anything, being afraid to say hello to people sometimes. And then a lot of people who found out that I was doing stand-up were very surprised, like people I grew up with and family friends and that sort of thing. No, are you sure you don't mean her sister who is more confident, etc.? Yeah,
well, so how on earth do you go from introvert...
I'm not too sure. Like, I was always a big fan of comedy. When I was living in the country, my sister and I would come up during the festival, comedy festival, for like a week.
Yeah.
And stay in the city and go see a heap of shows, like when we were 18 onwards. And then I just started to write some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And between writing stuff and actually getting up and doing it was probably 2 or 3 years. So I don't know what it was. I just kind of thought, maybe I could do that thing that I really love watching. And then I tried it, and I could not do that thing. But then I learned a bit.
You bombed pretty hard, was it?
Yeah. My first gig was very bad.
And
it was at Raw Comedy.
It was at Raw Comedy? Oh, you just went straight to
It was
top
my
of the mountain.
First,
all right.
Yeah. Which some people can do the first time and just be awesome at.
Yep.
That was not me. It was very bad, but I still enjoyed it.
What was wrong about it? In hindsight?
People did not laugh.
Oh, well, there's that problem.
And also, in hindsight, I did not put jokes in there.
Oh, okay. What were they?
Oh, there's so many things, I didn't.
And what year was this? Was this 2009?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2009, yeah.
I'm glad I'm keeping track. All right, so about 2009, you bomb and you do raw comedy. You bomb,
Yeah.
but then you go, oh, that wasn't painful enough as an introvert. I'll keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
A masochist as well.
And then I did, and then probably my second gig was like so much better than that.
Right.
Because I didn't do, like, I did this story at Raw and it wasn't funny. My last line got a laugh, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I scrapped that and just did a bunch of short jokes for my next set, and they all got laughs. So it was so much better, which is good. And then even though it was really bad, the first one, it was still like, I still felt like, oh, this is something that I freaking loved doing and loved trying. I need to keep doing it, and, you know, as bad as it was. And, then kept going. But, you know, my first year was I did very little gigs.
Yep.
You know, maybe 10 or something, 10 or 15, which is, very little.
And were you
basically
in Brunswick at that point, or were you still commuting?
Yeah. I was living in Brunswick.
Okay. And so then I believe in 2013 you did your own first solo show at the Melbourne Fringe. So how did you get from bombing, doing a couple of gigs, not infrequently, to actually going, I'm going to have my own show?
Yeah. So I think year by year, so 2009, did a handful of gigs. The following year, did at least double, maybe more than that. Mm-hmm. And then the third year is probably getting to, 60 or 70 gigs, which is still not that many.
Right.
But, just gigging more often and coming up with more material and sort of, thinking about what I could put into a show.
And you called it Don't Kiss the Weird Girl when you went to the Fringe, right?
Which is it was a quote from a story that I told in the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was directed at you at one point, was it? Someone at school or?
Yeah.
I assume.
At a party, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Fun.
There you go. And then later on, you came out with it at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. You did that same show. And then more recently, I think about 2016, you had another show called A Lone Wolf. Alone as in by yourself. Lone Wolf.
Yes.
A pun there. Mm-hmm. So my question is, there's a bit of a trend here. Mm-hmm. When you find happiness, are you going to be unfunny?
Yes, I'm already unfunny. No, well,
you found
to
happiness.
be fair, A Lone Wolf was a pretty fun show, despite the title. And maybe in hindsight, it was mistitled.
Oh, okay.
No. It was still about, because I've been single for over 12 years, and that's a bit unusual for a, young, extremely attractive, but no,
yeah.
Just for someone in their 20s who's, I don't know, easygoing and
a woman,
whatever I look like.
Yeah.
I don't really think of it as a strange thing, and then after a while, it's like, oh wow, yeah, like basically everyone has some sort of relationship.
Yeah.
That doesn't go for 12 years single. So I thought it was a bit of a, strange thing, and had a few stories and jokes about, and that kind of worked well as a theme for the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But it sounds like you're alluding that you found happiness. Sounds like you're a happy person now.
Yeah.
Or you've always been happy.
Yeah. Happy to be sad and lonely. Yeah. No. I also exaggerate the effects of that, for the stage. Just be like, blah, I'm alone, blah, this sucks, it's a bit of an exaggeration. It's always an exaggeration of your sort of self.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. I can understand. Dilruk, when I met you, I also met Dilruk at the same time, and he, in a former podcast, was saying that he's a bit concerned about losing weight because he thinks he'll lose things to talk about. Yeah. So,
yes.
But at the same time, that's a vicious circle.
So that is the reason I am staying single. No other reason, just that. Not my personality at all.
No.
I can get whoever I want.
That's right. You can. Well, moving aside from personal relationships, let's talk a little bit more about your acting career, because you do have an IMDb account or an IMDb
Oh my gosh.
page.
Why?
Yeah, someone's put it up there.
Why? I should not.
Now,
Great.
you've got a few things up there, and one I stumbled across, which is, I think, 2017. It came out in June, which was Frankenville.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that was on Channel 31. Yeah.
So Frankenville,
Yeah.
Frankertville, you got a role in that?
Yeah. So that was
tell us.
written and produced by Sam Peterson, who is just absolutely fantastic at producing content. He'll always be working on a sketch or a series like Frankertville, and just writes films that it's just great, and gets a lot of comedians involved, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The scene I filmed for that was like in a library. I was a librarian.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. We went to the Brunswick Library before it opened at like 8 a.m. or something, and it was very a bit spooky actually.
Right.
It was very fun and silly scene.
Yep. And is that an area that you're expanding into the small screen and later on?
I studied theatre and drama at La Trobe at uni, and performed a lot of student theatre when I was there. And during the day, I work at student theatre and film at La Trobe, and have a bit of crossover in directing and devising shows there. Putting on variety shows and hosting them. And I just made a short film as part of one of our film programs. And, so we basically run arts festivals and that sort of thing on campus for students to make their own work. But I don't know, being a performer and doing stand-up and that sort of thing, there's a bit of crossover for me to, get experience as well when I'm doing that. Yeah,
right. Well, I mean, some of the best actors today have come from comedy, stand-up comedy, either all over the world. In fact,
true. Yeah, I think, especially in Australia, comedians tend to do quite well on TV and that sort of thing, which is good.
That is true. That is true. So that brings me to writing comedy. So obviously you've talked about your life and some of the challenges growing up, and that's been reflected in the title of your shows. As an introvert, how do you write? Well, maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on this word introvert, but how do you write new material? Is it something you do explicitly?
I'm really bad at it. I'm so bad at writing. I struggle to sort of sit down at the computer, write something, get it to a point, try it on stage. I just kind of I'm better at coming up with a funny idea or premise, that sort of thing, loosely working it out in my head and then trying it out.
Yep.
Rather than actually sitting down to write, which is actually, it's a different way of working, but something that I should also try and push myself to do. But I more just kind of go with ideas that sort of come up, that pop up in my head, rather than when I'm sitting and... And
do you record yourself when you do shows so that you can listen to whether it worked or words that need to be omitted or added?
No, I did in the past. I used to record all my sets, and then I stopped, which is not a good thing. So thanks for reminding me.
Oh, you're welcome.
But I try and remember. I try and get a feel for. I use too many words or whatever, that sort of thing. I reflect on it, but having that recording, I guess there's nothing more sort of solid than that.
Yep.
Also, I have these like silly superstitions, and if I record it, it's probably going to go really bad. I don't know. I never used to be like that, and now I'm like, I can't. Oh, those earrings. No, I had a bad set when I was wearing those. I shouldn't wear them. This is getting really crazy now.
Stand-up comedy is not for your straight character.
Yeah. I have all these little moments, and then I'm just like, what are you saying? Shut up. You can wear whatever you want. It doesn't have an impact, you know. I have these moments, but then I you know, luckily am able to get rational in the end.
Oh, okay. It's a good question. I'll have to start asking my interviewees whether they do wear, you know, red underwear or hold a magic coin in their pocket or something.
Superstitions.
That's good. So at this moment when you write material, it kind of comes to you. You're not sitting, say, under a doona with a pen and paper writing materials, escaping the world.
No, not really. No. I should do more. But, yeah, I find that the stuff that I have sat down and written at a computer, this is just for me, or, you know, sat down and written out a longer bit and I do it and it doesn't really work. Whereas if I'm just like something pops into my head as a funny idea, yeah, I'll try that. And it tends to go better for me. I don't know if that is me just putting too much pressure on the material that's been, you know, that I've spent time writing, and then these other things I just kind of throw out there, and it's more spontaneous because the audience can just pick up on any little thing, you know. If you're throwing stuff out there, you're having fun with it, and you've got that sort of nervous, excited energy.
How do you make sure you remember this new material? Do you have a way of remembering your set?
No. Well, this is weird. When I started for years, I would be fine with remember everything, would just work out what I'm doing and be totally fine. And now I have just like anxiety about it, and I think I can't remember. So sometimes I write little notes on my hand about the order and that sort of thing. And I just don't think I need to do that. I think that's just a security thing. Right. Because I'm fine with remembering things. I mean, I've performed in shows.
It's a parachuting case.
Yeah, I've performed in shows where I've, you know, done slabs of Shakespeare and that sort of thing. Wow. So, okay, so talking to you, I'm realizing all these bad habits that I have now. I'm going crazy. Yeah. Stand-up is making me insane.
Well, at least you're recognising it already, so there is a future.
Oh, this is like a very good helping session.
Yeah. All I'm doing is asking questions like any other psychologist or psychiatrist would do.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Right.
And your relationship with your mother, how is that? No,
great.
We'll move on. Good. So you've been in the biz now. I guess if we could say 2009 was your baptism of fire at Raw. So now it's 2017. So they're roughly 8 years in the game.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Do you have any advice for? Yeah. Do you have any? Well, you've passed the 7-year itch. Obviously, this is for you now. Do you have any advice for newbies that are maybe thinking about doing Raw comedy this year or next year, or have a go at one of the open mics?
Definitely do a bunch of open mics before you do Raw. And just also do. Now there's a lot more gigs around than when I started, which is great. And a lot of sign-up nights. Yep. So you don't necessarily have to have gigs booked in to get up, you know, 2 or 3 nights a week. And it's really that, you know, I started very slowly, you know, 15 gigs in a year is really not that much if you're trying to improve and, really have a go at it. So I had a very slow start, and it really is just all about getting up there and doing stuff and just scrapping stuff if it doesn't work. When it's so early on, it doesn't.
How soon do you scrap stuff? Because I've heard you do it 3 times, third time doesn't work, then you scrap it, or when do you scrap?
Yeah, I guess, look, to be honest, I have held on to things a lot longer than necessary.
Right, okay.
I guess it kind of depends on how much you enjoy the bit. And also, like, if you've, you know, done it 3 or 4 times, it hasn't worked. Oh, I really do like this, though. I think there's something in it that I really want to keep doing it. Well, then change it a bit, you know, like, you know, if you keep doing it the same, it's probably not going to work. But if it's something that you really want to keep doing, try and change it.
Is this all filed away somewhere? So you told me you don't write material from scratch in front of a computer. It kind of comes out on stage.
And then
but how do you keep it?
In my brain, and also I write bits down that I'm kind of like, oh, that's sort of set now. That bit works.
Right.
And I type them out, and then so I can kind of go back if I need to do a set and pick stuff.
Yep. So, Sonia, right now is the Melbourne Fringe Festival, which is one of the first solo shows you ever did way back in 2013. So what have you got on? Are you doing any guest appearances or solo shows?
Yes, I don't have a solo show of my own, but I'm appearing in a couple of shows. One is the Amazing Travelling Comedy Tour at the Courthouse in North Melbourne, and that is hosted by Matt Stewart, who is absolutely fantastic. And each night there's 2 different guest performers doing stand-up. And I'm doing that on Monday the 25th and Wednesday the 27th.
Of September.
Yeah, of September.
Just for those who are listening a little bit late and missed out on it.
Yeah. And I'm also performing as a guest in Geraldine Hickey's show. It's my show, it's called. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's like a late night show, but at the very reasonable time of 7:30. And she's chosen a different theme for each of the shows and has a collection of comedian mates doing sketches, stand-up, poems, all sorts of weird things about the same theme. I don't have a date locked in for that, but the show sounds so much fun.
And have you got do you know what the theme is? Is that something you have to create new material for?
No, I'm just going to go with whichever night and come up with something. Yeah. So big challenge.
Wow. Put you under pressure. Yeah. Excellent. Well, so fantastic. And then into Beyond the Fringe, do you have anything else on that you've got planned? Yeah,
I'm working on a sketch show with another person. In the past, I've done a solo sketch show, and I'm working with a musician and actor. And we're writing a sketch show together, which I think will be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to have.
Will that be expanded into the Melbourne International Comedy Festival?
Yeah,
or is
we're
that something
hoping
separate?
to do Perth Fringe and Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Perfect. Oh, well, very good. And if someone wants to grab you for a guest comedian,
grab me? Oh my God! No.
In a nice way, around the shoulders, you know.
Okay, great. Tap me on the back.
Yeah, that's right. Grab your bags lightly. And they would like to, invite you in. How do they get hold of Sonia Di Iorio? I have
a Facebook page of all my comedy. Sonia Di Iorio, Diorio. And I've got all my upcoming gigs and that on there, and if you just send me a message, I'm pretty responsive.
All right. Well, Sonia, I am going to keep track of your performances and look forward to that. I assume it's a musical number, is it? Are you going to be singing in the...
There's going to be a whole lot of stuff, sketch, songs. It's going to be hopefully a little wild. And
great. Like hair nudity? No? What's
hair nudity? Yeah, we're going to be naked the whole time.
Oh, okay.
No, good. We're not. Oh, I should just tell people that though.
Yeah.
Naked? Oh no, I meant sacred.
Yeah.
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a lisp. Yeah.
Now that you're here though, watch
Lock
the show.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. All right. Well, Sonia, thank you very much for sharing your Monday morning with me today and learning a little bit more about your career over the last 8 years and how it's gone. And my blur brain. Your blur brain. Well, anyway, it's a funny blur brain. Yeah. It's I've personally seen you on stage, and I loved it. You were there with Duruk, and I've said it publicly. I said you were the best on the night. So there you go. You heard it.
Very important word. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. All right. Well, Sonia, thank you very much for your time.
No worries.
Have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, you too.
See you later.
See you, Murray. Bye.